Hey everyone, welcome to the 10th year anniversary of BakaRaptor.com. As always, this is BakaRaptor. Now, before getting on to the celebration of survival that is a 10th year anniversary, I want to cover the death of two of my favorite websites over the past year. The first casualty was Kissing Susie Kolber, an NFL satire blog that I'd been reading and linking to since the early days of my website. There aren't that many sports satire blogs out there in the first place, but of the ones I've come across, KSK was the most intelligent, the funniest, the most creative, the most passionate, and the most cutting satire blog out there. What was particularly unique about KSK is the way it not just skewered the players in the league, but the way it skewered the media as well as the narratives that the media created about the league and its players. Throw in a bunch of writers who constantly made Simpsons references, and you have pretty much the perfect sports blog for half the year. KSK's weakness, of course, was coming up with material for that other half of the year, the off-season. But regardless, KSK was my favorite website on the internet for several years. The reason that KSK folded is that the company that they sold out to several years prior started demanding that they make creative changes in order to drive in more traffic. The editorial staff wasn't on board, so they all resigned. Some replacement writers were hired, but they just frankly weren't as good, and most of the fans stopped reading. The other website that died out was the Biggest Problem in the Universe podcast featuring Maddox and Dick Masterson. I've written about it before, so there's no need to go into detail here. Suffice it to say, this was the best podcast I've ever listened to. It ran for 104 episodes if you don't include those bullshit recap episodes at the end. And as of right now, I've listened to almost every episode twice, including the bonus episodes. The reason the podcast ended was due to some sort of falling out between Maddox and Dick, the details of which haven't been made public yet. Maddox and Dick have since moved on to their own podcasts, neither of which is as good as the original. In Maddox's new podcast, he debates himself in current event type issues. It's interesting to listen to, and I still listen to it every week, but it doesn't lend itself to comedy the same way his old podcast did. Dick's podcast retains a format and style that are much more similar to the original, and so far of the two podcasts, I like his better. What's missing, though, is the co-host chemistry that he developed with Maddox over the course of 100 podcasts. Both of them will surely get better over time, but I doubt either one is going to come close to, let alone surpass, the original. So, rest in peace, the Biggest Problem in the Universe podcast. You'll always be remembered for having just the right balance of intelligence, passion, and humor. Okay, on to the 10th year anniversary news and updates. Well, first of all, the 10th year anniversary was actually back in March, but I did go about 3 months without updating, so early July is fitting. Also, this does coincide with my 2nd year anniversary of coming to Japan, and it coincides with my 10th year of going downhill. So, what do the next few years hold in store for BakaRaptor.com? Unfortunately, probably not much, and that probably doesn't come as a surprise to you, but the reason might. You see, over the past year and a half or so, I've gotten a lot more serious about studying Japanese, and for some reason, that's really cut into my blogging time. Now, I know what you're thinking. Maybe in the past I've been a lot busier with law school, double majoring in college and all that. So why now? Why has studying Japanese really cut into my blogging time? And I think it's because it satisfies the same need. Either it takes the same sort of creativity to blog as it does to really practice Japanese, or perhaps it uses the same part of the brain or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but long story short, I just haven't felt the need to blog as much lately. But at the same time, I don't feel like I'm going to die out completely anytime soon, so I'm still going to stick to my schedule of posting about once a month. Anyway, that's all for now. See you next time.